everyone, welcome to our Quiz 3 Rationale. The first question is you have to match the chemical agents with their respective functions. So these are the correct answers. So for methyl salicylate, it is clearing. Ethylene glycol monoethyl ether is for dehydration. Automated tissue processor is used for clearing. Microwave is used for dehydrating. And wax dispenser is also used for dehydrating. The next question is true or false. Identify whether the statements on dehydration below are correct or incorrect. First statement, prolonged storage in higher concentrations of alcohol tends to macerate the tissue. This is false because prolonged storage in higher concentrations of alcohol would become brittle instead. Second statement, isopropanol is a universal solvent, slightly slower in action and not as hygroscopic as ethanol but a far superior lipid solvent. The correct answer is true. Ethanol may be rapid acting and highly hygroscopic, but one of its disadvantages is that it is a poor lipid solvent. Next statement, a temperature of 37 degrees Celsius will hasten dehydration time. This is also true. It is the ideal temperature at which dehydration is done, as it will hasten dehydration just enough to avoid prolonged exposure of tissues to chemical agents. But since most laboratories are air-conditioned, room temperature is usually enough to do the trick. The next statement is, though tissues may remain in ethanol for long periods without harm, it is cumulatively toxic and a suspected carcinogen. This is false because ethanol is not known to be a carcinogen. Inhalation and skin exposure to ethanol have not been reported to be cumulatively toxic. And the last statement, for embryonic tissues, dehydration is recommended to start at 30% ethanol. This is true. Delicate tissue types such as embryos have to be initially introduced to the lowest concentration of the chemical in order to avoid damage. Next question, which of the following statements is or are true about ethyl alcohol as a dehydrating agent? Select all that apply. So, first choice, it is a rapid, efficient, and widely applicable agent. This is true. So, this is applicable. And then second choice, it is used for routine processing because of its volatility, flammability, and cost. This is false. As much as possible, we don't use a chemical that is volatile, flammable, and costly for routine processing. Ethanol may be flammable, but it is not too volatile and it is really cheap. Next choice is that it tends to decompose on exposure to sunlight. This is false because ethanol does not decompose when exposed to sunlight, but this is a property of your dioxane. And then the last choice, it dissolves nitrocellulose slowly unless combined in equal proportions, or better, 1 part ethanol is to 2 parts of DEE with diethyl ether. This is also true. Therefore, the correct answers for this question are, it is a rapid, efficient, and widely applicable agent, and as well as it dissolves nitrocellulose slowly unless combined in equal proportions with diethyl ether. Next question, which of the following statements is or are true about hydration? Select all that apply. First choice or first statement, directly transferring tissues from fixative to higher concentrations of alcohol. This is false. This is not done in dehydration as it will only expedite the tissue damage. Next statement, dehydration times must be kept as brief as possible in order to minimize the risk of extracting cellular constituents. This is true. Even for other chemicals, exposure time must be kept short. Then the third statement, The ideal amount of dehydrating agent should be maintained at a fluid to tissue ratio of 10:1 to achieve adequate dehydration. So this is true. What is important is that there is more of the fluid to prevent it from getting saturated with tissue fluids and impurities before completion of the process at hand. And then the last statement is that tissues may remain in absolute alcohol for long periods without harm. This is false. So pure concentrations of chemical agents are too strong for tissues to stay too long immersed in it. So tissues will shrink beyond recognition. Therefore, statements that applies to this question are the second and the third statements. Next question, when 4% phenol is added to ethanol batch during dehydration, it acts as a blank. The correct answer for this one is a softener for hard tissues. Next question, in the procedure for clearing, how many 500 ml beakers is needed? Give only the number. So the correct answer is 3. Because we need at least 3 changes of xylene for our clearing. Next question, what is the most commonly used clearing agent? Type it in all caps. Correct answer is xylene or xyrol. Xylene is generally suitable for most routine histologic processing schedules of less than 24 hours. And then the next question is, every clearing agent is capable of making tissues transparent. The correct answer is false, because the term clearing agent was chosen because many but not all of the clearing agents impart an optical clarity or transparency to the tissue due to their relatively high refractive index. And then the last question, what chemical can be used as a clearing agent when double embedding techniques are used? So the correct answer for this one is our methyl benzoate. Okay, next question. Based on the procedure discussed for clearing, how many times will the tissue be immersed in the last beaker? Give only the number. The correct answer is 45 or 45 minutes. So for our sample procedure, the first xylene is usually immersed for 20 minutes. The second xylene is immersed for 20 minutes. And then the third xylene is immersed for 45 minutes. And then next question is that all of the following are processing conditions considered when choosing a clearing agent except. The correct answer is size. So choice of a clearing agent depends upon the following. So first is the type of tissues to be processed, and then the type of processing to be undertaken, and the processor system to be used, and then intended for processing conditions such as your temperature, vacuum, and pressure, safety factors, cost, and as well as the convenience. Next question, which of the following are grouped as organic solvents in clearing? The correct answers are carbon tetrachloride, methyl salicylate, and chloroform. So all of the choices are organic solvents, and including your xylene, your toluene, your benzene, your chloroform, terpenol, and except for our gasoline, which is categorized under oils. And we are down to our last question. What is the clearing agent recommended for brain and spinal cord? Type in all caps. The correct answer is cedarwood oil or cedarwood, in which it is specially recommended for CNS tissues in cytological studies. And that would be all for our quiz 3 rationale. Thank you everyone for your time, and thank you for listening. Have a good day and God bless you all.